The Royal Saint Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force extends a warm invitation to you to be on the beat. Yes, it's on the beat. Mondays, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on NBC Radio. Get up-to-date information on crime, other police-related issues, and tips on how to better secure yourselves and properties. Join us and share your views on this informative, interesting, and interactive program. On the beat, Mondays, 8 p.m. with the kind courtesy of NBC Radio.
Yes, good night to you, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. Good night to all the persons listening to us out in the diaspora. You're listening to NBC Radio. And yet another Monday night, we on the beat. Yes, this Police on the Beat program for yet another Monday night. Remember that program comes to you under the auspices of the Royal Saint Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. And the Police Public Relations and Complaints Office, they are the persons charged with that particular running of the program. And you know that each and every Monday night we have different guests on the program, and we speak mostly police business, yeah. And the persons listening out, they can always call and ask their questions, queries, make comments, make some recommendations if possible. Whatever we can't answer here tonight, you know, the persons in charge and all listening, we normally take a note of whatever, and we inform them of the queries of the persons who would have called. Yet again tonight, it's just about 4 minutes after the 8 o'clock hour, and we're going right up until 9. We'll be having two guests we have in studio tonight, and I know it will be a very interesting night. They're going to tell us a lot about themselves, and since they've been in the police force and what they've been doing, and the reason why they are here tonight as two special guests. Also in studio, we have a member of the Public Relations and Complaints Office. That's Constable Smith. He's here with us tonight. And if you want to call the program, you know, it's very interactive. The number to call is 4572-705. That's 4572-705. If you're calling via Magic Jack, the number is 516-350-9891. That's 516-350-9891 if you're calling via Magic Jack. And tonight we have at the round table. I call it a round table because mathematically there's another name for it, but let me call it round table. We have tonight Corporal Corporal Haywood. She's working at the port at present, and also Sergeant Meldon James. And the reason why these two persons are here tonight is because they would have been awarded for 2017 the Male and Female Police Personalities of the Year. So Corporal Haywood is the female, who was the policewoman of 2017, and Sergeant Meldon James is the male who's been awarded the police officer for 2017 also in that division. Yes, and there's also a WhatsApp. Yeah, you can also WhatsApp us right here on NBC. And just let me get that number for you. The WhatsApp number is 457-2705 also. Yeah, that's 457-2705 if you want to make a comment via WhatsApp. And good night to you, Constable Smith.
Good night to the listeners and around Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. As the sergeant elaborated tonight, promises to be a very interactive program, so feel free as the listening public to call in and, you know, pose questions to the corporal and the sergeant, our guests, and feel free to interact with us.
Yeah. And that's one of the voices we'll be hearing in time to come, hosting the program as I make my exit. Good night to you, Corporal Haywood. Good night to you. No, don't be afraid of the mic. Don't be shy. I think it's our first time here. I must say welcome to the Police on the Beat program. Yes, good night to you and the persons are listening to you.
Good night to the listeners of NBC Radio out in the wider diaspora.
Yes, and good night to you, Sergeant James. I know you're no stranger here.
But I should say good night to all our listeners and each person who are listening from time to time. I know you make your contribution, so I just want to say good night and hope this program being an interesting one for you.
I hope definitely it will be. And tonight the focus is on you two persons, the Policewoman of the Year 2017 and the Policeman of the Year 2017 also. Now, from time to time, I know that the departments will make their recommendations as to who they believe are the most outstanding person within every division, department, unit, branch, wherever persons are work. And at the end of the year, that's in December, we normally have that award. For 2017, Corporal Haywood, as being an officer stationed at the port, you would have been the person, the recipient of that particular award. How long have you been in the organization?
I've been in the organization for 9 years, 6 months, and about 2 weeks.
Wow. Yeah, 9 years, 6 months, 2 weeks. Almost that magical 10 a lot of us look forward to each and every time. Yeah, and that's a magical number, 10. And yeah, a lot of reasons for it. We look forward to that 10 years. Now, Corporal Haywood, how long have you been attached to the port?
I've been attached to the port for about 4 years now.
Yeah. And being an officer attached to the port, I know over the years, since the police have taken over the duties up there, especially one of the tedious problems that has been surfacing time and time again, especially you see it time to time on social media, is the searching of persons going down to the Grenadines. I know not everybody is really au fait with that particular duty of the police. What are some of the problems that you encounter from time to time with persons going down to the Grenadines and having to search persons going down to the Grenadines?
At times, persons reject the search. They will complain about the searches. At times, they put up like a defense.
But has it been successful in terms of because what do we normally look for?
We look for like illegal stuff, such as like drugs, unlicensed firearms, contrabands, and those stuff.
But how has it been for the past years that you've been there in terms of actually finding stuff on persons that is illegal? Especially when it comes to drugs. How often does it happen?
Most times it's like on a daily basis.
So you're saying that persons are normally caught with drugs. And which one of the islands that you find that traveling most, that you find that things happen?
Most, I would say, like when they're going to Canawan.
Canawan.
Yeah.
Well, Sergeant James, Policeman of the Year 2017. I know you've been around for a couple of years, maybe more than 2. How has it been for you over the years and different places that you have worked?
Well, I love being a police officer. I love working. I like to basically please the public. It was never easy road for me being a police officer. This year will be my 28 years as a police officer. It has been a journey that I enjoy, and I have worked different places, traffic, CID, Beckway, both stations in Beckway. I have Leyu, Kittels twice, and Georgetown, Canary. I had attached to the Public Relations and Complaint Department as the Deputy Coordinator of the Police Youth Clubs. I've worked at Process Office, I work at Beat and Patrol, attached to RRU, attached to SSU, different places.
So you've been around, you're all-rounded police officer?
Yeah, very. I also work for 5 years at the police training school as an instructor.
Now tell me something. Where are you presently now attached?
I am attached to the Kittels police station.
And how long have you been there for this stint?
This stint, I get there, I think it was just after Carnival. I think it was July, August.
How has it been for you since you've been there at Kittels for the past 6 or so months?
Well, since I've been there, what I do, because when I left Kittels first, I was in the process of doing a program, a youth program, establish neighborhood watch, and when I left, most of those programs fall through. So I am in the process now of picking up the pieces and continuing the youth program, because when I left there, we had a program about 98 children. And we had started a neighborhood watch in Old Buff, Camden Park, and we were in the process of starting one in the low-income area in Cleverly. So now I'm back. I am hoping to pick up the pieces and move on with those programs.
Now, you've been involved in youth club. You've been involved in the youth club for a number of years. How successful has been in those programs?
Well, the Police Youth Club is, other than the Police Youth Club, I used to be running various youth programs. I think I interface with more than 1,500 kids in Saint Vincent and the Grenadines at this point. It is really good because I use it as a tool to deter the young people from crime. I also did a program with the Boys Liberty Lodge, and that program enables those children who were not in school to get into a school. So I enjoy working with children, because if the children are our tomorrow and they are not in a good place, then we doesn't have a tomorrow. So if I am not part of the solution, times to come I'll be part of the problem. So I am trying to interject a solution so that we won't have a problem.
Corporal Smith, you have a...
Yes, I have a question for Sergeant James. Well, for those who may know Sergeant James, he's a man that is very influential. He's very active in different initiatives concerning the police and the public. And he's a sergeant, he's an officer who is always smiling, and he always interfaces with the public, for those who know him. So Sergeant James, how do you, in all your years of experience, separate, the part of you that would be, fatherly to the public, or, nice to them, and then do your function as a police officer at the same time?
Well, I'm a police officer who keep the peace. And as I normally tell people, police don't lock up anybody. People lock up themselves, because if they behave themselves, then they won't have to be arrested. So if you are my friend, then you will behave yourself. So whether you're my friend or not, once you break the law, then you should be punished. Well, what I do, I try my best, whatever area I work, to eliminate crime.
Right.
So like 2016, I think we had 262 crimes in Kittels, and I vowed to reduce that. Mm-hmm. 2017, last year, we had 178. So it was a big reduction. Yeah. This year, I really pledged myself to bring that to below 120. So what I do, I actually, with the help of my other police officers, we try to go out and interact with the public. What I do from a station point of view, and from myself and my family, I do a book distribution for kids, exercise books and textbooks, a clothes distribution, used clothes, new clothes, whatever it is. Also food baskets, and I run a lot of youth programs.
So community policing has proven to be effective for you.
Effective for me
in reduction of crime.
And one of the testimony for that is Paget Farm Beckway. When I went to Paget Farm, we had crime about 100 and something. When I left Paget Farm, our crime was 35 for the year. And I had a youth program of 99 when I left Beckway. So it's really community policing for me an interface. And I'm a former national football player, former national sprinter. So I came into Kingston like 1986, starting to play for the national team. So I know a lot of people around. So I use that as a tool for me also.
Great.
Yeah.
So, Sergeant James, with the wealth of experience you had and in terms of your interaction with the youngsters, and we are speaking about community policing, and that is something that has been touted a lot over the years, and I see a lot of countries around the Caribbean. Even recently, I read some news from Jamaica where that seemed to be the way that they intend to go, because the crime rate in Jamaica spiked, and I understand, by about 25% last year. They had about 1,617 crimes. And 1,617 crimes in a country like Jamaica, even for them, it's a lot, you know.
It's a lot.
And at present, I know there's one of the parishes that has a state of emergency, you know, and that is the way that and that parish especially is one of the main tourist areas. I know that community policing, as you say, might be the way to go in some places, but how do we actually stop the criminals themselves from committing a crime? Because you have to look at the root causes. What makes a person commit a crime at times? And how do you actually stop a person from committing those crimes? Would you advocate that the police outreach programs that some persons have been trying in recent times, would you advocate that it continue on a national level, or should it just die at the wayside?
Well, I think that we should have a larger outreach program from a police perspective. We might not be able to stop somebody from committing a crime, but let us take the youth club, for example. We have about 21 to 22 youth clubs about Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. With those youth clubs, we have a parent body. So we actually getting the parents involved. So we're trying to really reach the youths. With reaching the youths, we probably can change some adults, because sometimes the adults don't reach their part, and you know the old people say it's really difficult to bend a old tree, you know. But what I think, the outreach program should spread wider and get more persons involved. For me, when I get my rest day, I donate 1 hour to a school to talk to the kids, like half hour, but it might be 2 schools one day, you know, and I give that time back to the community, because I'm not just seeing it as being a police. I am seeing it as being a person who can change the way people behaves to involve in crime. So I'm trying to use that as more or less sometimes I don't even see myself as a police officer. I see myself as a community builder. And building the community, because, excuse me, when the wall was created, the first thing I put in it was a family, right? So everything that we have in Saint Vincent and Grenadines, if the family is weak, every other thing is weak. So we have to have strong families. So we might have you at a station, and you might have a family undergoing some problems, but it might be marital problems. So you have to have the experience to say, well, yeah, and talk to these people and put them back on track, more or less. So it's not only just being police, you have to be a bit of counselor, a teacher, different times. So you meet all kind of different
I'm glad you raised that particular point in respect of counseling of marriage and police officers has to do. There are times when police officers, we ourselves becomes pros and professionals, so to say, in every single thing you could think about.
Sure.
We become professionals in every single topic you can think about, because a person comes. What is our duty really as a police officer? A person comes to you and they have a marital problem, and you're at a station, you're in charge, and husband and wife in the 50s. Would you send someone, a young constable in early 20s, mid 20s, to really deal with that person?
When I'm at a station, anything to do with family problem, I deal with it myself. I think I'm the best person at the station to deal with it. So I don't normally go down to the constable, normally. And when I'm going out, when anything happens at the station, I walk. I go with the men. If it's something that they can't handle, I deal with it. But when it comes to family issues, children, husband and wife, whatever. The other thing I forgot to mention is that I write and direct plays, drama. I also use that with children because, you know, being a person on stage help you to explain yourself to the public, stand up and speak, and so on. I've been writing since 2006 for the Police Drama Club. I have already written 18 plays. I put 12 on stage up to last year. I write different things, poems. I was walking in Georgetown when somebody called me and said, "Write me a song." I said, "Man, you can't sing." So he said, "Man, I want a song." So I write a song. And he sang the song and he got the crown, you know. So it's like different things just to help people to change their mindset, because we said that we are blessed. But sometimes the way we behave, you wonder where the blessedness is really.
That's happened sometimes.
Yeah.
It's part of the job. And the reason why I asked you that too is I remember a few years ago working in Kittels myself. I know I used to be doing the same thing, especially when it comes to marriage and family, domestic matters. I prefer to go and deal with it myself, especially when the persons are of a certain age.
Yeah.
And then one chief had an issue with that. He told me I must train the guys. Why can't I train the youngsters themselves to go and do it? I say, how do you train a person to be experienced? Because when a person in the 50s and 60s having a marital problem, how trained can a person at age 25 be, who doesn't even have a child, to go and actually speak to them? How trained can that person be to really, you know, and it's not really that easy, you know, because it doesn't matter how good you might have somebody who is junior to you. There are certain things that, because of your experience, because those persons at that age look to you at a certain way, and they will listen to you more, because you can give them some experience. Yeah. But you're going to send somebody who doesn't have a child, maybe not even has a girlfriend, much less to be married, and then he's going to be counseling persons who's 2 times plus his age about their marital problems. Yeah. You know, so that's something kind of thing that sometimes that we encounter in the job. Couple Haywood, I see you over there smiling. I ain't finished with you now. We're just starting. Yeah, we're just starting. You've been at the port, you said, for the past 4 or so years, and I know what you've been doing there would have contributed to you receiving that award. And is it the first time that you would have gotten the Policewoman of the Year award?
No, it's not the first time. It's actually the second time I got the award.
When was the first time?
In 2015.
Right, so for the second time now you've been Policewoman of the Year, and I find that's very excellent. So that means you have been doing something very, very good to be able to achieve that particular feat. Now, what are some of the things that you believed that you might have been doing there at that particular department where you work in that would have endeavored the authorities to say, hey, this is the person that I would have nominated to be the Policewoman of the Year? Because it's not just for them alone, it's for the whole police force. That means what you've been doing outshines everybody else, every other female for that particular year. What do you think would have made you stand out above every other female for 2 years so far?
My hard work and dedication. I was getting a lot of arrests, so that would have played a great role. Being a senior person on the port, I would have been performing excellent in the aspect of, at times when there are no NCOs there presently at the Grenadines Wharf, I would have been portraying a senior figure out of being placing persons or the police officers on various points to work. So I would say I would have been portraying a positive outlook.
No, Corporal Smith, you have a question?
Yes, I also have a question for Corporal Harewood. Now, you are a female in a male-dominated profession. You're a police officer. So for women out in the diaspora and the listening public who might be considering becoming a police officer as their career, what is some of the advice that you would give to them, to be able to survive? Because I mean, I'm guessing it could be a little intimidating, seeing that there are very few women in the organization. So how do you survive?
How do I survive?
Yes, please.
I survive by working hard, staying focused.
A young lady who wants to join the organization, she looks up to you. She sees qualities in a woman and a police officer that she would want to emulate, that she would want to patronize. What advice would you tell her? How should she go about, survive? Well, not just surviving, but to function, effectively as a female police officer.
I would tell her to put her best foot forward. Whatever she's doing, she must do it to the best of her ability.
Yeah, best of your ability, because I would say that everybody works hard. Hard work, dedication. I know. I want to believe that every police officer really should strive for that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we say we're human. We come from different homes, different backgrounds. Some of us are different nationalities, and but we are all citizens of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. We join the organization and we try as much as possible to do what is best for Saint Vincent and the Grenadines and also our visitors. And I believe one of the hallmarks of policing should be, at all times, be hard work and dedication. And as Sergeant James has been saying, the amount of things he's been doing over the years, even in his own time. He takes his own money, his time, and he does a lot of things for persons. And I don't know if you want to be a candidate for other things, but for different topic. Right. A couple here was at the port, as I said again, the searching of persons, you see, been encountering problems from time to time, but it has also been successful in terms of arrests and whatever. Now, that's for sometimes the locals. I know at the port you have the taximen, and the catmen. And those, I know sometimes those two can be headaches at times, especially when the ferries come in. How do you deal with those persons?
At times, the taxi operators and the catmen, sometimes they don't want to comply with the rules. They want to be in a rush, but most time I just before I tell them, this is the rule and this is what is expected of you.
So that goes to both the cartmen and the taxi. Now, I know from time to time, a person will give narcotics to a catman. Unknown to him, I would say most of the times. Because, okay, I give you a job to carry some goods at the wharf, you pay them, that's it. You're searching those persons and you find narcotics in the groceries, the goods that is given to that person. How do you deal with that? You see, officer, I don't know, I just got a job to bring up this up here. How do you deal with that person?
First of all, when the cat operator arrives at the Grenadines Wharf, we ask, who's the stuff? So we don't search this stuff unless the owner is there. The owner have to be present for us to search.
But what if in a situation where the owner, because sometimes they know that they gave the person the drugs, they know that they will be searched. They're hoping that the person would not be searched. But then they see the police are searching. I remember they be walking behind, and they see, boy, police watching him. What if the person decides to turn back because you might not know who the person is? The catman might not even know the person's name. How do you deal with that? The person goes by his business, the catman say, officer, I don't even know the person's name. I just got a job.
We asked the catman if they could identify the person, like the look. If they could point out the person. If they see them again, if they would be able to point them out.
But that cat operator still be arrested. That's what I'm trying to find out. Would he still be arrested for possession of that narcotic?
Yes, we take him out to the station.
Now, another thing, at least for this tourist season, we've been having what we thought was a bumper tourist season. And it's going to run us right up until April, I should say. And from the last reports, I think it's about 310 calls we're expecting overall. And recently we've been seeing ships daily. Hundreds, thousands of passengers, foreigners coming into Kingstown. Now, the cruise ship docks at the port. There are several taxi operators, the tour buses, whatever. How do you actually deal with those tour buses and taxi operators up there?
The tour buses, we have lists for them. So we go according to what is on the list. In order to let them in on the compound to operate, they have to be on the list that are provided for us. As well as the taxis. There is an organization, association for the taxis. So we are being provided with a list. And once they are not on the list, they won't be able to go inside to operate. So they operate according to if they are on the association, on the list. So we go from what is on the list.
But do you find any problems with those persons in recent times? Since the tourist season have started, have you been finding problems with persons maybe wanting to go in there and things like that?
Yeah.
And they're not on the list?
At times, persons attempt to go in and they are not on the list. But once we see them, we talk to them and tell them they can't operate on the inside, so they will have to operate on the outside. But tourism have given them some passes where they are allowed to walk in on foot. And when some of the authorized taxis leave, then a certain amount of them would be allowed to go in and operate.
What about in terms of visitor harassment? Has any visitor came to the police because they say uniform person and something happens, they come to them? Have anybody have been coming to say, okay, then this particular person has been harassing me, whether it be taxi, whether it be vendor, whatever? Have you had a problem since the season started?
No, I haven't experienced that.
Well, that's very good so far. Sergeant James, it's now 25 minutes, moving on to 9, so we have 25 more minutes or so left. And remember, if you want to ask a question, the program is always interactive on whatever you want to ask. The number to call is 452-72705. That's 452-72705. Magic Jack number 516-350-9891. That's 516-350-9891. And also via WhatsApp is 457-2705 also. 457-2705 via WhatsApp. Sergeant James, what would have been one of the factors, the main factors that you think might have given you that edge over every other police officer last year, 2017, to become the policeman of the year?
Well, I think is my all-around performance, because, as I said, like last year we had a really wonderful production, How You Make Your Bed, and I also coach the discipline for the police, soccer, cricket, and I just coach them successfully, because we win a lot of championship over the past 3 years. The regional championship, the local championship. I also would have trained the national male cricket team last year to the championship, the Windward Islands Championship. With that, I basically run a station with all those different aspect of my work. I also do a Bible ministry in the prison, where we would have got involved in that in Beckway via Mrs. Belmar. Because it's my dream that when a prisoner discharged from prison, he should discharge with a Bible. So these Bible, excuse me, are printed especially for prisoners. And in the middle, somewhere in between, you have prisoner story, where prisoners would have changed in prisons. So it is designed free on the inside, and it is simplified. So I also do a Bible ministry in the prison where I order Bibles, they come in, I give them to the prisons until they got the amount that they could start to give people who discharge. But right now, they're putting them in the library because it doesn't have enough to give away. So I think my overall performance would have given me that edge.
How do you find time for so many activities?
I was wondering the same thing.
Well, I have 24 hours in a day.
And you have a family?
I have a family. I have an identical twin going to high school at Farm 5. They're writing subjects this year. So I'm there with them. I'm there with basically everything I do. Basically, I just find the time. I go. I just go. You know, so I because honestly, I really think that we should have a gentler society and a working hard towards that.
Sergeant James, just going to take a pin on that thought. I think we have a call online. Good night to you, caller. Welcome to the Police on the Beat program.
Good night, officer.
Yes, good night to you.
Okay. Sergeant James was just saying some of the things that he did that he think would have promoted him to be officer of the year. I'm not disputing them. But I didn't hear him say anything about his relationship with John Public. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, man. He been debating that constantly.
No, when? Well, okay. My apologies then. I didn't listen from the beginning. I just thought, well, then it's what you. Yeah, when I started to listen, it was the female officer was on the. You were speaking to the female officer. Okay. And then I hear you talk about that. And I didn't hear his first part about how is his reaction with the public, his intervention with the public, how he deals with, because those things scary. Some people tell you some policemen are very courteous when they dealing with John Public and so on. Those things carry a lot of weight. I didn't hear him say that. I'm not saying he didn't say it. So if it's true, well, my humblest apologies to him. I didn't hear him say that part in the beginning, because what I heard him saying was the Jama Club and his interaction with persons, his Bible ministry, which is very, very good. It is very, very good and very important.
And also he's been coaching nationally.
Well, yeah. Well, those are policemen after all. He's coaching the only people.
No. He coaches nationally other than policing.
Oh, sorry. Well, you see, he didn't explain all those things.
Yes, definitely, sir. And he's been doing a lot of outreach programs, food basket distribution, the youth clubs, and giving away books and clothing, all of the stuff.
After all, he should have been saying those things, and I would not have been as out of place to ask the question. You do understand?
Yeah, you maybe missed it, but he did it.
Okay, well, as I said before, if he said those things before, my humblest apology. And as I said, I didn't listen to the program from the beginning, really. Okay, when I realized it was 20 past 8 when I started to listen, so anyway, then realized just to leave. All right.
If I could just say to you, if you could probably listen off here, that the station that I work, which is Kittels, we were awarded the station customer service.
Okay.
So.
And I said that because no. I said that because I didn't hear you, sister, but I know somebody who told me about you in the Kittels, from the Kittels area. And there's a lot of work there, if you understand what I mean.
Okay.
But I'm saying that I said that because I didn't hear you say it to John Public, if you understand what I mean.
Oh, okay.
But it's not that I didn't know.
Okay.
Okay, caller, thank you very much.
Right.
Yes, you see, what the community, I know, I always say that for me, my favorite station is Kittels.
Yeah.
After about 11 years there on and off, I think that's my home. I've been involved in a lot of activities down there myself over the years, especially carnival and other stuff. I'm always there. And we're speaking about what would have made you that person, male police officer of the year 2017. And you were speaking about football and the coaching of the national team. So I want to make it public now. The persons want to hear, because they asking me, right? What happened yesterday? The guys, everybody, we had 6 teams there waiting. Everybody want to play the police yesterday. Everybody want to beat police yesterday at Otley Hall. The guys want to know, they want to hear from you.
Right. I think it is just an oversight. The cricket team had a food sale on Saturday, and I was really the man behind that. And it just really slipped away from me. And also I was the person preparing the meals for the cricket team on Sunday because they were playing at Sion Hill. So I get caught up, and then I was walking in. I wasn't off. I was at the station. So I really get caught up in the midst of everything. I think that was, and I really ask for forgiveness for that. But next time, if God's spare life, we will be there.
Hopefully, because everybody not only yesterday been asking, where's the police team? We had a very successful set of games yesterday. We had teams from Redemption Shaft, Richmond Hill, we had Volcanoes, Edinburgh, and also 2 teams in Watley Hall. Because of the time, all the games could not have finished. So we continued on Saturday. But they're still hoping that to play against the police. Well, the guys want to play against the police.
But I just want to tell them that for the last 2 years, we only lost 4 games.
We only lost 4?
Yes, for the last 2 years.
Well, so, there are some teams that you have a challenge with them.
Yeah, well, I could beat any team. I don't do
well, guys, because just message you all are listening, and very soon, Sergeant James and the rest of the police team will be coming over there to Watley Hall. That is if we get permission from certain persons to use the field. We seem to have, sad sometimes we try when we go to different communities to do outreach programs, because the policing is not all about arresting at times.
No.
Because family structures are very, very important, and you would have emphasized it earlier, especially in volatile areas. When you look at the root cause of crime sometimes, it really boils down to the family structure.
Yeah.
And how dysfunctional sometimes some families can be. And then hence the youngsters from them continue the same trend. Because sometimes when you see your brother, your uncle or cousin may have been shot or killed by someone else, you tend to grow up, it's natural, it's human being, in that I want to take revenge. I don't want to go down the same road, so I'm going to be as bad as I can be, so that person will not do me the same thing.
Sure.
And those are the kind of trends that we continue, and we're trying to get away from that. The stigma that has been attached to certain volatile areas, and I can say that at the one of those communities, yesterday, the persons who came there yesterday from different places, they were coming there for the first time. Some of them was coming there for the first time. Yeah. They didn't even know there was a field down there.
Yeah.
And but there always seem to be persons who wants to fight against certain things happening.
Sure.
I don't know if you ever encountered things like that, in that you're trying to get the residents together to make everybody to be as I am. My motto for the last couple of games we've been having is beat the ball, beat the keeper, but don't beat each other. It seems to give some persons not satisfied with that. They believe that they should always be beating each other. Okay. Have you ever encountered those kind of situations in your time?
Yeah, well, times and time, because what I was on the Bookament beach there with my family, and a tourist ship was in. But for some unknown reason, there was any space on the beach. A lot of tour buses brought a lot of tourists down there. And then within the back of my mind, I seen that I told my wife, I have to bring the youth club and clean up this beach, because it wasn't in the best of condition, because the hotel is closed down and it wasn't in the best of condition. So, I was talking, and somebody figured that the beach is still like how it is, and so you will encounter these things time and time again, because when you try to do something for a community, I remember in Beckway, we were cleaning up the beachfront. And a lady came and said, if my child was here, I would have give she some licks, you know. So things like that, you meet that daily. And I'll give you one example. When I first worked in Kiters, I saw a young lady who I knew was going to school, a good school in Saint Vincent, Grenadines. But a couple of weeks, she haven't gone to school, so I find out why. She came, spoke to me, and then I spoke to 2 other persons and get her back into school. I'm proud to say she went to school, she got 6 subjects. She went back to school.
Excellent.
She got 6 subjects. Supposed to be getting married soon. You know, these are the things that I feel good about. You know, so people will always have a time, because there are different people in society, different people in the community. People will do this, people will do that. But you have to strike a balance somewhere. So every time you try to do good, some people will always try to fight it down. And you can't give up. And that's one of the things, because if you continue, if you give up, they win the battle. And then children go to stray. So you have to continue, because one child saved is a lot.
Now, in terms of the police youth club, what's the normal criteria for the youngsters who want to get involved in the police youth club? And what's the future for them?
Right.
Sometimes after the police youth club.
Okay, you got to be 8 years old. If you're 7 and you're big, we take your times. You fill out an application form. Your mother will sign it also, or some guardian, and you will be part of the youth club. We have an annual camp every summer. We have other activities. We are right now planning a national road relay for the youth clubs. Also, I normally carry a soccer team from the youth clubs into the inter-college league, you know, and I had the same team playing in the North Leeward soccer tournament. And when you grow up into the youth club and you attain the age of 18-6 and you have your passes, when I say passes, I mean CXC subjects, and you want to join the organization, then we not looking very far, because we have somebody who actually grew up through the police system, who groomed by the police, if they want to join the organization.
How long has the youth club has been around, the National Youth Club for the police?
The National Youth Club been around, I think it's about 17 years now.
And your, in your knowledge, how many persons think might have graduated from being part of the police youth club to being a police officer?
A lot.
A lot of persons.
Yeah, a lot of persons. Not too long ago, we have about 3. And we have the lone female at the tailor shop. She would have come to the police youth club. The lone female. And I'm really proud of that, to see the only female at the tailor shop. And she came to the police youth club also.
A female tailor? That's also it is sometimes.
Yes.
Corporal Haywood, we're back at the port. 2017. What has been the main problems that you would have found last year in particular, working at the port? And not even from your individual, but also from your other colleagues. What are some of the problems that you all might have encountered most for 2017? Drugs, harassment, fightings. What do you think might have been it most hurtful from last year?
I would say drugs. At times we had like persons like insulting officers, want to fight with the officers and so forth.
What do you think might have been the reasons for that person wanting to assault a police officer?
At times persons become defensive. Officers will approach them in a proper manner. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. They would inform them of their duties there and request the search of their belongings. And some persons would comply, some persons would give the officers an easy time, while others would just put up a defense.
And you believe that sometimes when they put up defense, are those the persons that define drugs on the most? Or they just put up a defense because they don't want to be searched?
They don't want to be searched.
But is it compulsory? Or do we just do it at a random that every person should be searched, or is that a random something?
It's randomly. It's done randomly.
It's done randomly. So there's no way that you say you're going to have anybody stereotype to say, okay, then I'm going to search this barlet today, I'm going to search this rasta tomorrow.
No.
You just do it random?
Randomly.
Okay. But how many arrests you believe might have been made last year overall for 2017? Just maybe a rough figure.
Over 50 something.
And that's a lot.
That's a lot.
So you're saying that you some persons are saying the searching should not happen. But do you believe that it should continue?
I believe it should continue as a way to prevent illegal stuff from going down into the Grenadines and causing harm to persons.
What about the coming up from the Grenadines? Because we've seen it happening in recent times.
We do check persons from time to time coming up from the Grenadines, and at times we do catch them with drugs.
Also coming up from the Grenadines.
Also coming up from the Grenadines.
You know,
And that's one of the, as you raised that point, Sergeant Morgan, coming from the Public Relations and Complaints Department, you know, it seems that the public, when they interface with the port officers, they don't want to get searched. But now we're hearing, you know, from Corporal Haywood that it's something that is mandatory. Although it's randomly, all the persons are randomly selected, it's mandatory and it's needed because we get to take a lot of, you know, illegal drugs off the street, you know, and criminals don't get to benefit from the sale of these drugs.
Because I myself have been searched a couple of times and it never bothered me. Because the person might not know I'm a police officer, so they arm the search, and I just smile sometimes, you know. Yeah. So Sergeant James, in respect of crimes and interaction with the police, and especially in your line of work where you're involved in everything. So I'm going to use the word now, everything. How has it been in terms of your interaction with the public, as a caller might have said he didn't hear it in the oldies, in respect of solving of crimes in your community?
Well, for me, I think that, you know, for example, a few days ago I went into an area and a person said, Coach, what are you looking for? Because, like, you know, when I go into the community of Kittels, Camden Park, you know, everybody call you Coach. Because, you know, I would have been coaching a couple of teams in there, and I run a youth program in my community of Ireland also. And, you know, he said, who are you looking for? I said, I'm looking for something. Right there. You live right there, you know? So it's like getting that relationship with the people help me with my work. And you might meet somebody who you want, and I said, man, Morgan, when I come back, let me meet you at the station. And when I get up there, you will be sitting on the bench. You know, you'll be sitting on the bench. And I spoke to a gentleman this morning in the station, and I passed by there tonight, and I saw him in the cell, and he said, I was just sorry, you know, man, I really didn't want to get involved, but I mean, get a little piece of thing and made they catch me and so on. You talked to me this morning already. Man, I know I come here, I feel shame, you know. But he's in the cell. But you remember I spoke to him this morning and things like that, you know. So the relationship is really good with the community, and people call you from time to time for any situation at all. And I feel happy about helping people.
We're hearing as the years go by, the harshness of police sometimes, or the police are not friendly, the police very hard to approach. And what are some of the advice you'd give to police officers in respect of the new trend now, community policing?
Yeah. Well, I want every officer to know that the public is really not your enemy. Basically, is your friend, because a man doesn't commit a crime against you. Commit a crime against the state of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. So if a man commit a crime against St. Vincent and the Grenadines, he really doesn't commit a crime against you. So it does not mean if a man commit a crime, he go to prison or he paid money, when he come out, he is your enemy. You know, this man could be, I remember in traffic, when I was working in traffic.
So that's a minute on that. I think we have a caller online. Caller, good night. Welcome to the Police on the Beat program.
Okay, good night again. Sergeant James, one of the things I've noticed with the Police Youth Club is that, okay, the area where I'm calling from, when that club had started, it had almost 100 young boys and some young girls in it, okay? But I've noticed it when it's dwindling down. At least I do. Even if they have one, I ask somebody there and they say, yes, some children are still come around. I'm wondering sometimes if we doesn't have the right officers with the right discipline to assist some of the young people. Because I remember there was a gentleman there, I can't remember his name now, who was there when they had just started, and I know a lot of the children used to look up to him. Okay?
Right.
So I'm wondering sometimes, you know, if we get the right person with the right attitude towards the young people. I think because the youth club is a good thing. It's something that we really need. Okay? We still need that. We need that. I'm speaking from somebody who knows how some of the young people operate. Okay?
Yes.
Young people operate. And I think in that area where I'm calling from now, we really need a stepping up of the youth club in that area.
Yeah, well, but to answer you, I think over the years, for the youth club, you'll find that some of the people would have grown to age, and then and you will find that the person who was the coordinator was being transferred.
Well, that is why I think that area suffered from that.
Right.
Okay.
So what we have to do now is to get into schools and talk to the principals and get more youths on board. And
I'm speaking from Georgetown.
Right. Well, I suspect that. Right. And you know, I had my the youth program outside the station there every evening.
Yeah, I go.
Right. So what I'm saying is, like, we have to go into the schools now, because the youth club is serious business. We would have changed a lot of lives. You know, and I remember getting involved I never played basketball, but I get involved in coaching basketball in Beckway. That team I get involved with, it's about a year after, somebody came to me and said, I have to write something for university. I said, I don't know anybody in university. So one of the person in the basketball program is now attending a university and say he was under your coaching. So I have to write something. So this thing make you feel good. And two of the guys is in Taiwan and basketball scholarship.
That's good.
You know, so we will be working on your area.
Yeah, please do that.
Honestly.
Do that for me. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, caller, thank you very much. And I see that we only have a couple more minutes left on the program. And the time sometimes runs down so fast in that 1 hour. And I always say, I'm glad that Smith is here from the Public Relations and Communications Department. And I continue to stress that we got to buy another hour. And the man who might be paying for the hour is right here too. Yes. Couple Haywood, in wrapping up tonight, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to for 2018 in terms of if you work? I don't know if you want to make Police Woman of the Year 2018 also, and so that December might be hearing that again. And so many things you're looking forward to in terms of improving and the job for 2018.
I want to be able to help my juniors in any way that I can. Once it's something positive, I want to be able to be a part of that. I would like to see upward mobility for myself. This is just the beginning for me.
That other persons normally look for upward mobility.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm getting taller. I reach my height. But I'm happy for you, and I must say congrats that you would have been given the promotion. Was it the same night?
Yes, it was.
I don't know if it ever happened before.
Never.
I know first time. So I think you break a record, eh?
I
And if anybody get promoted at night yet. Yeah. So definitely congratulations, and I hope that for 2018 that some of this stress that you find up at the port, because I know sometime up there could be it could be real hectic. It could be a headache with persons. I hope that things will run smoothly for you and the rest of the personnel up there at the port. And congrats to you once again.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and I hope so too.
Right. Sergeant James, and wrapping.
Yeah, well, I personally would like to see a few things. That police, we as a unit, work more in unity, not divided, because if we are divided, the criminal will strive. I would also like to see that we give more concern to youth development as a police force. And I basically would like to see that each and every police officer donate of their time to help coach youth to a better future. Himself is, because sometimes when we have a rest day, we do a lot of things with half an hour. And if I'm from Kittels, they have a Kittels government school, I could give that school and half an hour of my rest day. So if you have an officer today, an officer coming, say, next week, we can help to change the mindset of youths. Just donate some of your time to a school, to some kind of organization, and then we help build back St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As a matter of fact, I just say from the police perspective, let us take back our society.
I must invite you to Atley Hall for sure, because there's a youngster over there who's been stationed there for the past 8 or so months. That's Constable Williams. Most people know him as Boardman. Yeah. And he's been taking his time and his money also. And he's had about maybe 20 persons. Yeah. Well, yesterday I see a team came with 24. Yeah. Who he had about 20 or so persons. Right. And he's coaching them on a regular basis. Yeah. Even when he's off, he's down there with the field with them, and we've been organizing a couple of football matches that has been very successful. I should say, since things have been happening. And I have to say 8 months since the unit has been over there, and we only had 2 serious incidents. One which unfortunately resulted in a murder, and that was in the earlies. And since then, things has been very quiet, so to say. And I think the interaction between some of the young people now and the police is now on a different level.
Sure. In
that it's more on a personal level. They actually come and speak if they have a little problem. So definitely, I know we ought to be inviting you over there to
be grateful.
That is why they were looking forward to you yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so St. Vincent and Grenadines, we have come to the end of yet another Police on the Beat program. And tonight's program we had Corporal Haywood, who's the Policewoman of the Year 2017, and also Sergeant Meldon James, who's the Policeman of the Year also 2017. And you heard from both persons reasons why they would have trumped everybody else. Trumped, I'm careful the word. I would have trumped everybody else to become Policeman and Policewoman of the Year 2017. Also here, we had Constable Smith of the Police Public Relations and Complaints Department. Remember that the On The Beat program comes to you every Monday night from 8 until 9 on the auspices of the Royal Saint Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force and the Police Public Relations and Complaints Department. I'm Sergeant Jules Morgan, and until next Monday, thanks once again for listening to us. Enjoy the week.